Okay, I want to show you all the ACE method. A lot of you learned this last year, but this is a way we're going to answer questions in class, and it's a great practice. I used this when I was in high school and college, and it really helped me answer the questions quickly after I read something on like tests or even just for like working class. When you ace something, ace means to like do the best you can at something, like the most perfect possible you do, like the best way you could. So we're going to use the letters A, C, and E to help us remember how to answer questions in the best way possible. The A stands for answer. Answer the question shortly, restating the question and the answer. We know the prefix re, right? To do it again. So I am saying the question again in the answer. C stands for cite. Cite text evidence that strongly supports your answer. So we're going to take information from the text we read, the story, the news article, whatever, and we're going to put it with our answer to show where we got our answer from. We can direct quote the text, or we can indirect paraphrase, use our own words. And E stands for explain. Explain how the text evidence supports your answer. Expand when necessary. So we gave our A answer, we restated the question, we said it again. We C, cite, we pick a quote or paraphrase from the text to show where we found our answer. And then last, we just have to explain. Explain how our evidence supports our answer. Okay, now I want to show y'all how to use ACE to answer a question. We're going to use the explosion in Beirut story that we did already. So if you haven't seen this story, you need to go back and do the annotations activity. Okay. Our first question says, why was there an explosion in Beirut? I know the answer is right here. And normally we'd have this marked with our annotations. It says 2,750 tons of chemicals exploded because the storage was not safe. So we know this word because goes with why in the question. So for my A answer, I said the explosion in Beirut happened because the storage of chemicals in the warehouse was not safe. This first part of the sentence, the explosion in Beirut happened because, I just rephrased the question. Why was there an explosion in Beirut? The explosion in Beirut happened because, and then I used my answer, got my answer from the text from over here. After A is C. What does C stand for? Cite. So I'm going to cite this sentence. I have to first introduce it by saying the text says, and then I can just copy the sentence. 2,750 tons of chemicals exploded because the storage was not safe. Boom. Remember, I have my period, and then I have these little quotes because this is not my sentence. I took it from the text, and I have to show that I stole it. All right, so I answered my question, and then I cited the sentence where I found it. You can also think of C for copy, but it's not always copying. But for right now, we're copying. And then I'm going to E, explain, which I think is one of the easiest ones. I just have to explain how this, what I cited, connects to my answer. So I said, officials said that the warehouse exploded because the chemicals were not stored safely. It's very similar to what I said for my answer. We're just putting an explanation after my evidence. I'm going to do a second question. This one's a little different. Do you think that the people responsible for the explosion will go to jail? So this says, do you think? So it's what I think, but I still have to use the text. So for my answer, I restated the question. I think that the people responsible for the explosion will go to jail. The other thing you could say is, I think that the people responsible for the explosion will not go to jail. I just used these words and basically rephrased them, and I answered the question. And then what's after A? C, cite. So I picked the sentence from the last paragraph. The text says, and then I have my little quote here because I copied a sentence, it is clear that the damage is very big and has impacted the whole city. Impacted meaning like it affected everyone. Everyone felt it. And that's my evidence to explain why I think the people will go to jail. This one needs a little clarification, right? Because how does people going to jail come from, it was a big explosion. So I.e. explain, if the explosions impacted the whole city, citizens will want the people responsible for the explosion to be punished. And that's how I explain how this connects to my answer. Now it's your turn to practice for a little bit, and I'll give you guys some feedback. I don't expect you to have it perfect the first time, but give it your best try, okay?